Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some and peace out to the rest of you. The blackest heart, the blackest mind, the blackest man on social media signing black and shining again, asking you to hit the mother cuss word share button because the message is more important than the messenger. So that being said, let me get right to it. I want to give a shout out to my plug. You know who you are. Kemunachin, Kala Shokti. You know who you are, man. I appreciate you giving me the information on what's been happening with how misandry and feminism and even Hybristophilia moved beyond the West and into places where they weren't before. To my audience, I want to let you know this plug has been helpful to me. And that's part of why I know what I know about how feminism is spreading more quickly than the answer to it is. The remedy, the prevention, the vaccine. He's the reason that I knew to tell you all we're going to have to engage with men from these non-feminist environments and let them know that this is coming down the pike so they can prevent it. By rewarding traditional women who treat them well and isolating and shunning the ones who are going to demand the rights of women and the rights of men and the responsibilities of neither one. My plug told me about a wannabe Idnis from Brixton, in the UK, that's now here in the peninsula teaching English, acting like a tough guy because he's from Brixton, and he wound up getting punked by an ex-Idnis. Now let me tell you something, the ex-Idnis had to have met the Malcolm X standard I've talked about for reform, reformation. And the Malcolm X standard requires that you change your attitude towards intellect, education, learning, knowledge. You cannot remain anti-intellectual and meet the Malcolm X standard because Malcolm X went through the dictionary, taught himself. He didn't even go to the university and get a formal education, but he taught himself. He began to speak like an educated man who knew what the fuck he was talking about. He wasn't speaking to impress massa. He was speaking to educate those who have been intentionally imprisoned in ignorance. That's what Malcolm did. He went in illiterate, came out literate. When you literate, you can teach yourself a lot of things without having to pay tuition to somebody else. The ex-Idnis went and got a formal education because now he's teaching English abroad. What the fuck does that tell you? That man exceeded the Malcolm X standard for reformation. So when he came across the wannabe Idnis, he punked him. Now the wannabe Idnis is married to several women. Some of them are Gulf women, they're Gulf citizens. He got punked in front of one of his wives that is a citizen. And the disappointment is obvious to my plug. He saw it. Because he didn't just get, I don't mean he got manhandled. That don't mean you got punked, that just means you lost. No, this guy got punked. The ex-Idnis pulled his hoe card. And so, there you go. The ex-Idnis showed everybody he ain't tough, he ain't even brave. Now the ex-Idnis was quiet. You had to know him to know that he went through this, and he had lived an Idnis life before. Another situation happened in which an English teacher from the continent, but one of the rougher cities on the continent, got punked. Now, he also, apparently, my plug told me he acts tough. I never saw him do it. I actually met this teacher before, but I didn't tell this to my plug when he told me the story. I never said to my plug, hey man, I know you're talking about him. In any case, I never saw him act this way, but I believe what my plug says because he doesn't make things up. He's human, he can make a mistake, but he doesn't make things up. So, I have to take my plug's word for it. Yeah, man, okay. Acting tough. Very nice with me, but then again, he's also very nice with the plug. But apparently, the plug knows it more than I do, so plug told me, yeah, man, he act like a tough guy because of the city from which he comes. And His wife is not black, no American, but he got punked in front of his wife by a citizen. And the reason that we can tell he got punked was because, see, this guy lifts weights. But when one of the citizens pushed him against the wall, choking him, not for no reason. Gulf Arabs don't walk around just doing violent things to people for nothing. That's not how they think. But the man thought that the English teacher was trying to feel up on his wife or touch his wife or something, so he pushed him up against the wall, ignored the fact that he's a bodybuilder. Yeah, the English teacher from the continent also lifts weights. You see? So he could have restrained the citizen's hands without hurting him, but he didn't because he froze in fear. And the plug told me the plug had to pull the man off of the bodybuilder. And the bodybuilder's wife was clearly disappointed in him that he froze in fear and didn't repel the man or restrain him or whoop him. Now, what I'm gonna tell you was this. What does this have to do with the ladies? Because these dudes got punked. Well, obviously, their show of swag, obviously that had a lot to do with it. They show swag and project the outward image of the itness to a certain extent. And that is, okay, so that's who these women marry, because that's what these men are projecting. I still look at these women because these women ain't even Western. Where the hell they get this from? And I'm gonna tell y'all straight, I don't feel for guck how much of it may have even come from traditional Africa. I do not feel for guck. If you gotta be a man, that's fine. You can't be running from everything, okay, fine. But I don't respect, even when they come along and they start saying, well, you know, I want a man that's killed a lion. How about you fit the guck out my face? You want a man that's killed a lion? Because now we know that lions don't go around messing with people like that just randomly or arbitrarily. Maybe if they're hungry, okay, all right. If you mess with them, get too close to the cubs, but just arbitrarily just cause, they're strong. So that means I'm supposed to go and mess with a creation that has a soul that didn't mess with me to prove something to you so that I can get your funky twat glistening? No, how about you miss me with that mess? Because there are women around the world that understand the difference between machismo and masculinity. They exist. So I don't even care if it's in a traditional society back home in which the women say, well, I want a man that's killed a lion, or I want a man that's wrestled a gorilla and won. Oh, no, you can't. You know what? Get out of my face with that. Because what you're saying again is you want Superman. And you ain't Wonder Woman. So you miss me with that. What this means is that misandry and feminism have gotten into these women's minds. Not because they didn't want their husbands to get punked, that's okay, but because they fell for the outward show of swag. And then they got disappointed. That's why. So I'm saying this to let you gentlemen know that it's everywhere, man. Oh, not everywhere, but it's moving to the point that it will, like Coca-Cola, it should be within reach of everybody, at the fingertips. And so, see, Kendra Davis, Crimson Cure, shout out to, explain to us that Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire want the Swaggerilla because they can control him. They can call massa on him. That's what the reason is. That's why he has to have done something that that's illegal. He can't just be a man that will protect the people for whom he's responsible. He has to have been in some kind of trouble with the law before, or about to get in trouble, or she has to have something that can put him in trouble with the law. That means she wants control, and she refuses order, especially his. She told us that. Now, They have pretended that it's biology. He's a real man. He's masculine. I can't help it. You're just a lame. That's how she couches it, and Crimson Cure pulled the wool off of that. She yanked the blanket, yanked the covers off of that ruse and said, no, it's about the control so that they can maintain chaos instead of following a man's order. That's what that's about. However, gentlemen, understand that Boom Shika, Bonquisha, and Sapphire have managed to fool other women, not just outside the black community or outside the US, but outside of the West even, into thinking that they're supposed to fall for these outward shows of masculinity. I'm gonna tell y'all straight, somebody swaggering, walking tough, that's not testing manhood. Somebody saying, don't mess with me, is not proof of their manhood. That's just an outward show of machismo, and it's different. And so these broads are being tricked into falling for that, and you got some of these wannabe idiots that are willing to project that. And that's where the difference comes in. So keep that in mind, gentlemen. And as you and my audience do move around and move out, make sure that while, okay, of course, you can be a man, make sure you do not offer outward shows of machismo and swag to any of these women, no matter what the background is. Because there are going to be some, even other places you go, there are going to be some that are looking for a man that might, snatch them up and choke them and all this other stuff. And what I'm going to say to y'all is, don't fall for it. Don't let them do that. I hope that this is a benefit. Thank you for listening. Black heart, black mind, blackout. Assalamu alaikum. And now you know why I say black, heterosexual, non-select male power just because you don't like it, and black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day.